What's up, everybody? Jeff Todd here for MLB Trade Rumors. We're going to run through the 2020 to 2021 free agent first baseman class, led by one Anthony Rizzo. We're going to get to why we don't really need to discuss Anthony Rizzo. It's an important distinction to make. First, please do run down and subscribe below if you haven't already. If you are a subscriber, make sure you hit that bell, get the notifications, because we have a ton of videos coming. We have a ton already up on the site, so lots to go through. Do click through those if you haven't yet. Lots of stuff that you might find interesting. Now let's get to it. Listen, this upcoming free agent class is not going to be headlined by Anthony Rizzo. That's because the Cubs control him with a club option. Yes, theoretically it's possible that they will not exercise that option. The only way that happens is if it's a complete disaster of a season. Even then, seems pretty unlikely that the Chicago organization is going to part with Anthony Rizzo, let him test the open market. So you're going to have to wait one more year, but it's quite likely, since they have not discussed an extension to this point, that we will see Anthony Rizzo as a free agent, but it's going to be after the 2021 season. Now, you could say the same for Carlos Santana of the Indians. He's also controlled by a club option, but in that case, it's a much bigger decision for an older player. $17 million the Indians would have to take on in salary beyond the $500,000 they already owe him in a buyout. It's going to be a big ask for them, and it's going to be tough for him to do enough to have trade value even at that price. Possible, though. It is possible. But I do think that we're likely to see Santana as the top name on this market. Now, there are a couple of other big name guys, Yuli Gurriel, Edwin Encarnacion, that will be a part of this class potentially. But I think Santana has the edge. He's a little bit younger than those guys. He'll be entering his age 35 season. He's a switch hitter, and he's got a really long track record, not just of above average hitting. He does have that, but of excellent plate discipline. It's the kind of skill set that should age well. When you look at Gurriel, not as long of a track record. He's going to have to do a lot in 2020, whatever kind of season we have, to prove that he's worthy of a big contract. Also, like I said, over 2 years older than Santana. Same thing with Encarnacion, even older, and really not a guy that is seen as an everyday or even a frequent first baseman. He's likely to slide into that Nelson Cruz kind of role, even if he keeps slugging. So I think teams looking for first baseman are going to look first at Santana. Now, Encarnacion also has a club option at $12 million, and so does Daniel Murphy of the Rockies. But in Murphy's case, there's a $6 million buyout, meaning the Rocks are already locked into him for $6 million. So it's only a $6 million decision to go ahead and exercise it. Now, if he hits like he did last year, there's no way they're doing it. But in the event that he bounces back really, really strong, it's at least possible the Rockies could pick that up or trade him over to another team. So again, you're looking at a situation where if Murphy bounces back to that form he had with the Nationals, not likely he's going to end up on the open market. That's also true of Justin Smoak, the switch hitter who signed with the Brewers. He has a $5.5 million club option in his deal with a $1 million buyout. So if Smoak is going to blossom back into the top-level hitter that he was at times in Toronto, he's going to end up staying in Milwaukee, folks. He's not going to end up on the open market. Now, beyond that group of guys, I don't think we're looking at anybody that really seems likely to be an everyday, regular-type first baseman. CJ Cron just has never hit enough to be that level of player. Then we have some left-handed hitting platoon guys like Mitch Moreland, Eric Thames. Those types of guys have signed more part-time, 400 to 500 plate appearance. We're going to go out there and hit a bunch of righties really well and sit against lefties. That's the kind of contracts these guys have signed. It's the type of contract they're likely to sign this time around. Now, Thames is not the only Nationals player who's a possibility for this market. Howie Kendrick, Ryan Zimmerman, also out there, but they're also in that same kind of situation where if you're limited to playing first base at this stage of your career, you're not going to make a big bunch of money. You're not going to get a long-term deal, and you're going to probably end up mostly in a part-time role. You could say the same of a few other guys out there. Todd Frazier, Brad Miller, And you could look at Neil Walker too. He played a lot of first base last year with the Marlins. If any of those players has a big season, they could be an attractive player in free agency, but it's likely that teams are going to be only interested in any kind of big money if they can play elsewhere in the infield. All those guys have plenty of experience in other spots, so teams are going to be looking at it from that perspective. None of these guys looks likely to be a regular first baseman. That's why the market is shaping up very nicely for Carlos Santana, who could actually cash in a bit despite being a bit up there in age. If you like this video, please do hit the like button, subscribe below, hit that bell like I said, and drop a comment. Let us know what you think.